Another day, another dollar. It's O.T.G. O.T.G. Daily News. I'm O.T.G. So we're going to hop right into this Kevin Hart Clubhouse situation. So earlier today, there is a room made on Clubhouse called Is Kevin Hart Funny? And, I just did a video about that. It's kind of funny that popped right up. You know what I'm saying? After I had just made a video. It was literally 2 days ago. But long story short, Kevin Hart did this. Kevin Hart came into the room where they were having a discussion about, is he funny or not? Is his latest special funny or not? You know what I mean? So the conversation was really good for a while. I didn't get to actually be in the room. I just now found out that recording the room is a problem. Recording what's on there, but their whole video is out on the internet. If you look for it, it's probably on Reddit. There's some places that you can find it. But I started to I watched the whole thing and I listened to the whole thing, and it was really good for about an hour and 20 minutes. An hour, just the majority of it was really good, and then towards the end, it started to go left when somebody asked him, why did he call his daughter a hoe? And I don't really know. It's kind of a touchy subject. You know what I mean? I don't think he was calling his daughter a hoe. I think what he was saying was, as I'm talking a comedy special, not what he said in the room. I'm thinking that what he was basically saying was, as a father and having a daughter, and your daughter starts dating, that you don't really know. You just don't really know how to handle your daughter dating back and forth. And so with his kid going through 3 guys in 2 weeks, you know what I mean? He didn't know how he should handle it and what he should say. And part of it's just comedy, you know what I mean? It's supposed to be a little bit above and beyond. It's supposed to kind of trigger you. It's supposed to, use certain verbiage to be shocking and shock value to make you laugh. So I didn't really catch offense to it. I watched it with my daughter's mom, and she didn't catch offense to it. I didn't really see it in the aspect that some of these women saw it. So when we was in the room, people were saying, or when they were in the room, people were saying, well, this one lady was basically saying that she felt like he was calling his daughter a hoe. And when he tried to go into the explanation, trying to explain it, his intent behind the joke, you know what I mean? He ended up further offending more women by saying, some women in the room might have went through a whole phase. And so that was really just the joke of it all, was, as a father, him overreacting and thinking that's what was going on when that's not what was going on, and just trying to make himself the butt of the joke. And from there, a lot of people understood it. I felt like a lot of people understood it, so it went back to the conversation that was going on. And then he said essentially that he felt like black people was the only group of people who try to tear their stars and tear each other down, and it was a crab in a barrel mentality, which I don't think he's wrong. It's the black man experience. So he's just telling his experience as a black man out here. A lot of other black men feel that way. You try to get a job, you feel like the other black man's trying to tear you down. Even with I could say, even with me just posting the video and finding it on social media and thinking, okay, this is transparency for people who wasn't there. They could truly just make their own opinion. Was these guys wrong for talking to this girl this way? Was Kevin Hart wrong with how he said things? And maybe make it a learning experience for people who don't know, this is how women feel, or this is how he felt, or a learning and experience and conversation for people to learn how to communicate on a better plane that better works things out for each other. But I quickly found out that no, you cannot do that, because all of a sudden, I'm being attacked on every social media platform that I have. Even though there's multiple other videos out, he even has a video on his page of the same conversation, but for some reason I'm the one who got put under attack. So I say that to say, the young lady says that she feels like what he was saying about Hannibal Buress. He said Hannibal Buress took down Bill Cosby. And he was using it as an example. He named some other people who did some controversial things, but they were white. And so when he named Hannibal Buress, people felt some kind of way, you know what I'm saying? And the girl came and basically said that she felt like he was using his platform the wrong way, that Hannibal Buress used his platform the right way, that he seen something going on with Bill Cosby, that there was an issue with what Bill Cosby was doing to the ladies, and that Bill Cosby, Hannibal Buress, used his platform properly by making people aware of what Bill Cosby was doing, and that she felt like Kevin Hart was using Hannibal Buress in a negative aspect, and essentially saying that he was wrong for letting people know what Bill Cosby was doing. And so she felt like that was irresponsible of Kevin Hart to say that what Hannibal Buress did was wrong, because essentially he was protecting black women, or protecting women. And so from that moment, the way Clubhouse works, there's a bunch of people on the stage, and a lot of the guys started to try to say what Kevin Hart meant. A lot of guys tried to come and speak for him, which essentially made a whole bunch of ruckus and people speaking over the young lady, which got her flustered, where she ended up saying, I don't need anything from you guys. Unlike you guys on the stage, I don't need anything from Kevin Hart, and I'm not dick riders. And that's when everything went left. One of the O.G.s in the game, got very upset and said, he don't really take nobody talking to him like that, and that was uncalled for and super disrespectful. A bunch of other guys felt the same way, which got Mouse Jones to step up and say that he felt like people were a little aggressive talking to the young lady, and he didn't want it to be a situation where the young lady felt threatened or she didn't feel protected because she had an objective opinion. From there, the conversation kind of died down, and Kevin Hart basically spoke to her directly. I'm going to play just a little clip of it. Let me see if I can.
So I don't know who's black and who's not. We're on an audio app. So stop attaching the black woman conversation to a conversation via audio. I don't know who or what you are. So stop creating narrative.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay, so I'm going to respond to you. There's a lot of words that you use that, I'm going to be honest, I don't know the definition to. So within what you said, here's I'm just going to give you reality. Do you think that I think Cosby is innocent?
I didn't say you thought that.
I just asked the question.
No,
do
I
you
don't
think
that.
Okay. Do you think that I think Cosby was wrongfully accused and should be let free?
No, I don't think you think that either.
Okay, so then what is the intent behind what you're saying you're doing? If you clearly know that I'm not an individual that's not on the side of thinking or believing that what he did was wrong, what's the intent behind your conversation? What's the intent behind your questions? If I just ask you two, just listen to me. If I just ask you two straightforward questions, which is simple, do you think that I think he's innocent, or do you think that I think that he was wrongfully accused? Your answer both no.
But you said.
Okay, so I don't want to play too much, but essentially, you guys could hear for yourself. That was his response to the young lady. What then happened after that? everything kind of died down. Well, not really. You know, a bunch of guys on the stage decided that they wanted to kick the young lady out. She, the moderator of the room, said she didn't feel comfortable doing that, and she just kind of went back down to the audience. The conversation went on, and Kevin Hart just ended up leaving. So my 2 cents on the whole thing is, I feel like people are overly sensitive, and I feel like people are looking for a reason to always come at Kevin Hart. Was the comedy special the funniest that he's done? No, it wasn't. And people have a right to say that. And he sat in the room and he took that from the fans. I think essentially that was the whole point of it. You know what I mean? Personally, I feel like he's just gotten older. I feel like he's had the same content since day one. It's just not as funny because his kids are older now. They're not small kids. He's got a lot of money now, so some of the jokes that he makes aren't going to be as funny because they don't hit home as much. And his delivery is different. I was in a different room where people asked if Cat Williams or if Dave Chappelle told the same jokes, would people be offended? And everybody said no. So if that's the case, then there really is no reason for people to be as upset with Kevin Hart as they want to be. They just don't think that it was as funny as his older specials, so they're overly critical. But the overly critical thing can really mess up some things for a black man out here who's trying to just do his job and be a comedian. You know what I mean? There's a lot of ways that you could critique somebody, and a lot of ways that you could do things where you're not hurting their brand or tearing them down, but you still are offering constructive criticism. And what I feel like a lot of people aren't constructively criticizing what they're saying. They're just saying it's trash and it's not good. I partially feel like I rewatched the special afterwards, and you know, from rewatching it, he basically said that he knew people was going to feel some kind of way, and he was unhappy with even trying to be a comedian because of things like this. So I feel like him going into that room was him trying to have a conversation, but all people did was prove everything he said in the special right, is that people will twist and turn anything into a problem. And now we have a whole thing where Kevin Hart hates black women. Kevin Hart fucking says Bill Cosby was good. Kevin Hart says hates Hannibal Buress and all this other bullshit that just really didn't happen that way. And I also feel like anybody who is trying to just post the facts of what really happened, people don't want that to happen, because people really want this narrative to go out that it was a different kind of thing and he's this kind of person. I hate that it had to be Kevin Hart. There's really nothing that you could do when the world don't like you to that extent. You know what I mean? And once a certain group of people get on your top, you know, y'all all know who those people are without me having to say it. You definitely are in trouble. And he offended some of those people, and now those people are on his top. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I like to know how you feel. I played the little piece of it. I would love to play more, but I feel like if I keep it up, it's going to be, I might lose my channel. I might lose all kinds of different things, because those same people who are attacking him are now attacking me. And yeah, so let me know how you feel in the comments. Let me know what you think. I mean, do you think it was as serious as people are making it? Do you think that Kevin Hart should be canceled because what he said about Hannibal Buress? Do you think that Hannibal Buress' intent was to save women, or do you think Hannibal Buress' intent was to make a joke about Bill Cosby? Because I personally feel like, you know, if you know that you got a robber who lives next door, a professional bank robber who lives next door for years, and you don't say nothing, and then one day he plays the music up too loud, or he don't give you no money, or he looks at you funny, so now you go say something like, oh man, so you know my neighbor be robbing banks, and now he gets caught, and then you position it like, well, I was just trying to do the greater good. You really wasn't. Like, you was really just holding out until something didn't go your way, and then you use that against that person. And that's kind of what I feel like might have happened with Hannibal Buress, but it's not for me to say, neither here nor there. I would like to know your opinion, what you think, and how you feel about it. Leave it in the comments. It's O.T.G.